The death of Margaret Williams.
The death of Margaret Williams. Friday, March 7, 2014, Margaret Williams was found at 9 p.m. in the attic library of her mansion home. There appears to have been a struggle, and the neighbors reported screams. She was a profound writer with few known enemies. She was found by her daughter covered in blood and surrounded by pill bottles.
When investigators entered the room, they immediately noticed the flipped chair, dead body, blood splatters, pills, and notebook.
Initial documentation.
Our rough sketch.
First, look at the evidence. When initially walking into the library, the investigators could clearly see there was a struggle before her death. Evidence and messy splatters were throughout the room.
Margaret's desk. A half foot from Margaret's head was her desk. On her desk, there was bloody handprints and a notepad.
Blood, splatters, and footprints were found throughout the crime scene.
The victim's struggle.
More blood and footprints was found leaving the crime scene.
At the crime scene, there was a cup filled with tea with lipstick on it. Next to her was a pill bottle, and around her were blood splatters.
Margaret's body. Margaret's body was in the fetal position, and around her were pills and bloody handprints.
Our final sketch included a sketch of the shelf, the room, and all the dimensions.
The story. It was Friday, March 7th, 2014, around 9 p.m., and Margaret Williams' neighbor heard a scream. No one came to Margaret's rescue, and she was murdered. The next morning, Margaret's daughter Katie came to her house. No one answered the door, so Katie walked through the back door. Her mom was nowhere to be found, so she went to the attic where her mom liked to spend her time reading and writing her novels. When Katie found her mom dead, she called the cops immediately. When they arrived at the scene, they saw her body on the floor with blood around her head and blood dripping from the cabinet. They also noticed bloody footprints and blood drops leaving the crime scene. A chair was pushed to the floor, which made the cops think she was pushed from behind. There were 3 pill bottles by the body and 2 knocked over on the shelf. As the cops walked through the scene, they found a note and a bloody handprint. The investigators brought the evidence to the crime lab to examine. Margaret was very rich from her novels and had a maid named Carmen from Puerto Rico. She has only been in America for 3 years and cannot speak English very well. They matched the note handwriting to the maid, and the blood handprint was Margaret's. She looked like her death was a struggle. The police came to the conclusion that she was killed from behind because of the position of her body and chair. She was pushed off the chair, banged her head on the cabinet, and tried to get up by using the desk. They think the killer threw the pill bottles by the body so it looked like she committed suicide when it was really a murder. The murderer did that so the police would take their attention off finding an actual killer. The result of the handwriting came back and it was Carmen's, so they questioned her first. When they did the autopsy on Margaret's body, they noticed she was murdered and it was not a suicide. By the blood and body position, they concluded she was choked from behind and thrown to the floor, hitting her head, which explains the blood by her head and on the cabinet. They had no other suspects besides Carmen, so they went after her. When they went to the house, they found no clothes, like she had run away. They found her uniform with blood on it in a dumpster a couple miles from Margaret's home. They found out she bought a one-way ticket back to Puerto Rico. They sped to the airport, and right as she was about to board, they caught her. They took her into custody, and her court date is scheduled for March 24th, 2014.
The conclusion. Carmen was convicted of killing Margaret Williams. Her court date is set for March 24th. Margaret's inheritance and wealth was passed down to her daughter Katie, and her profound books are still sold today.